So I'm going to make a few changes and you just tell me how it feels.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to put your feet closer together. Now, why am I doing this with you? Looking at you, Kendall, you've been training for how long?
On and off, pretty much since my freshman year of college.
Okay. So you've been training for quite some time. You're in great shape. So I, as a trainer, I'm not afraid to take you into the ultimate level of saying, let's get right into the position, rather than going through little steps to get you the position. I'm going to have your knees together and your feet together, which is going to give you a little less of a stability, correct?
Right.
A little unstable.
Yep.
I'm going to have you bring your arms up together here, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to get away from this externally rotated position, and I come here, because an overhead press by definition is mostly anterior deltoid.
Okay.
Mostly anterior, because it doesn't go through shoulder retraction or shoulder elevation, okay, or all these other extension, all these things that we do. You're doing shoulder flexion. So I'm going to have you in this position here.
Just out like a little like this?
Yeah, because look, here's what you're doing. This anatomical chart, you've seen it?
Yep.
Okay, the anatomical chart, you're just bending, and turning and turning. So if you were in an anatomical chart, your arms are down here. I'm going to have you bend, turn, you're in.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to have you start there.
Okay.
Okay, sit as tall as possible. I'm going to have you a little angle here. I'm going to have you press straight up. Hold it. Okay, see how you migrated to that external?
So stay.
Keep those elbows in. Come on down. Elbows are in. There you go. And press up. Easy. Easy. Elbows are in. Elbows are in. Come on down slowly. There you go. Good. Keep those elbows in. Elbows in. Elbows are in. Watch that dumbbell. I just want you to turn it. Keep it in a strong position. You can keep them like that?
Like this?
Yeah. Just like that. Can you back up onto the ball a little more and bring your heels with you?
Yep.
Good.
Right here?
Yep. Flex forward from your hip just a little. And that means this. There you go. Elbows in, elbows in. What's the difference? What does it feel like?
Holy smokes, it's a lot harder.
Okay. What do you mean by harder? Bring this
I
weights
could
down
feel
for a
it.
second. What do you mean by harder?
Well, not harder. I could just, it's the burn is more intense right here in the front of my shoulder than it is when I go out.
You are
I feel
in
it in a lot of different places.
You are biomechanically in a optimal position to train the anterior delt in a shoulder flex situation. Before, you were externally rotated, which is the weakest position in the human body, trying to push over your head. So you're taking your arm in an externally rotated position. Okay, you have the acromion clavicular joint that impinges, you have shoulder impingement syndrome position, not that heavy load. A heavy load would actually increase that chance of getting some type of subacromial space will decrease, and you'll get some kind of a impingement over time. You'll feel the AC joint or a burning sensation in this area. That's from a lot of external overhead movements. I took your hands, watch this. You're going to love this. Go back into that position. You feel how it's kind of, everything's together and stuck?
Yes.
What happens when I just say, come forward just a little? What happens?
It loosens up.
Everything relaxes.
Yeah.
And it works smooth, coordinated, and rhythmic now. It's like doing, an overhead press is nothing more than a front raise. It's a front raise. An overhead press is a front raise.
Okay.
An overhead press is
That
a
makes
front
sense.
raise.
Gotcha.
It's a front raise.
All right. Yep, I got it. And that's different. That's different.
You're just seeing a lever arm.
Right.
My arm is straight. I come up. I come up all the way. There's your overhead press. My arm is straight. I bend my elbow. I come up. There's a front raise with a dumbbell.
Right.
I attach a dumbbell here.
Right.
There's a front raise. There's a front raise. There's a front raise all the way up. There's an overhead press. There's an overhead press. You took the overhead press and did this. And in the personal training industry, and if you really care about the client and you really want to see some amazing results in your shoulders and you want to become strong by pressing something over your head, you would not do it in an externally rotated position.
You have elbows in.
You'd have your elbows slightly in, relax the shoulder, stay in your strong anatomical position.
Right.
We created these exercises. Where do you think that came from?
I have No idea.
Thank you.
What somebody told me.
Somebody created this overhead press, and they said, "Oh, you got to get like this." And then we came along. We started turning and doing all these Arnold presses and things, things that make absolutely no sense.
I do those too.
Yeah, and the turning and the ulnar radial turning has nothing to do up here because that muscle doesn't cross that joint. So turning your arms has nothing to do with it. We're wasting our time doing all these extraneous motions, creating muscular imbalances, and we're wondering why we're not getting the results, or we're wondering why, hey, I'm doing all these exercises, my shoulder hurts. Okay, we just, this ego thing about just pushing more weight and not really slowing down and understanding that we can get the same results doing it a little differently.
Okay.
So this is much more optimal. This is efficient. That might be a strong position for someone, and someone might come over here and have to bring the weight down.
Right.
But I'll tell you right now, they'll bring the weight down, but the emphasis and the stimulus and the volume will go up here.
Right.
The relative risk will go down and the benefit will go up here. You might be stronger here. You might use 50s here,
Right.
30s here,
Right.
but you'll be stronger and you'll get more benefit here.
Where were you in 2009?
Okay? What was I in 2009?
You weren't here.
I don't know where I was in
That's a
2009.
lot of money back then.